want you to watch this video. This is really important. Check this out.
I'm passing the phone to the girl that always cries.
I'm passing the phone to the mother that struggles.
Why would you?
Okay, my bad.
Okay, your friend, mama. Why would you say that?
Say what?
A mother that struggles. It struggles with what? Maya, why would you say that?
Mama, I know who you is. You shouldn't act like we ain't.
All right, let's stop here. You know what the funniest thing is? Is the little girl saying, you are sitting down there acting like we ain't. And while it may sound funny to you, this thing is deep, deeper than you see. It's beyond the surface. She's essentially saying, we can see that we are struggling. Stop pretending. You see, one of the mistakes that young parents make, younger parents, and this is a lesson for everybody, especially if you plan to be a parent in the future, one of the mistakes is you overprotect your child from certain realities that are staring you in the face. Now, you may not know it, but what you are effectively doing is leaving a conversation gap. And let me tell you, somebody is going to fill that gap. You see, the reason you are not having these conversations with them is because of shame on your part. Fundamentally, it's shame. But then you forget that one of the most potent tools that evil uses to seduce and convert is shame. And that's why when you come into a gathering of people that want to do, they want to start doing nonsense, something like a truth or dare, you are very likely to hear something like, I hope everybody is mature here, inferring that if you don't want to do this next activity with us, then you are a kid, and calling on on you to defend your ego and prove that you are not a child by staying. It's the shame play. And that's also why when you are offered something like drugs to abuse, the next thing you will hear is, are you not a man? Do this thing now. Stop behaving like a woman. It's the shame play. And so when, because of shame, you do not have a conversation about the reality of your situation with your children that are in the same situation with you, at least on a topical level, you open the door for others to have that same conversation with them, easily trigger their shame because they've seen that same shame in you too, and then woo them over to their side with the promise of that thing which you cannot provide and are too ashamed to even discuss why. You see, me, in the family where we grew up, even before we turned 10, as little as we were, my elder brother would tell you, see, we can't afford this. Nobody's hiding it, and you cannot shame us with it. You know why? Because we have had those conversations with a parent, and we understand that the fact that we are not able to attain to these things right now is not due to their lack of love for us. The factors are external, and they are being worked on, and they are seen to be being worked on. I don't know if you understand. So despite the fact that we don't have, you see, that we can't afford it. I know that that's not the reality you want to raise your kids in. Yes. And I also know that you are ashamed that you're not able to give them a better life right now. But it's not always going to be like that. And you also need to know that in the day that things will now become better, that better will be tasteless in your mouth if you have lost your kids to the way of compromise simply because they did not learn how to stay consistent with their heads held up high, pride full their chest, even in the middle of not having much. You have the responsibility to shape your children's perspective on what it means both to abound and to abase, and how to interact with these realities, on how to perceive them, how to relate with people who are in these different phases. That's your responsibility. And if you don't do it, then you are preparing them for a future where others can be able to use shame to drag them into things that are unsavory and maybe detrimental to their, to their lifelong journey. You see, those your children, they see more than you know. And it is your responsibility to use wisdom to communicate some of the realities of this life to them as soon, as early as is necessary. You get my point, Abi? Make sure you subscribe. The button is right there so that as soon as I post, you can know that we have dropped new one. Don't mention, no, we don't do that here.